Good afternoon from Tskaltubo, Georgia's abandoned resort town.
It is extremely eerie.
It's creeping me out a little bit. Good afternoon from Tskaltubo, Georgia's abandoned resort town. This morning we got a 20-minute taxi from Kutaisi to this extremely unique place. Apparently back in the 13th century a shepherd came across mineral water here, and then after the war during the Soviet Union they built 20 or so sanatoriums and then a handful of bath houses on these grounds, and there was actually a direct train from Moscow to the area, so over 100,000 Russians or people from all across the Soviet Union would travel here. But then at the fall of the Soviet Union, many of these sanatoriums have become abandoned, like the one behind me, and we're going to try and explore a few of them.
It is extremely eerie to see all of these huge elaborate buildings become abandoned. It kind of reminds me of Pripyat, you know, in Chernobyl, where all the buildings were just left and they haven't been used since. In some of the buildings they have actually been renovated, and one has been turned into a hotel. I think you can still use them as well. The other, they're still abandoned. Oh, we have a dog following us. But there has been refugees from Abkhazia, which is kind of like a breakaway region, and they were basically forced out and have relocated into these abandoned buildings in Tskaltubo. First building is completely abandoned, I think. Watch your step. We're going in.
We've actually got to be really careful because the first sanatorium that we're entering, the Emiretti Sanatorium, is one of the two that is boarded up, and there is sometimes security here. It doesn't seem as if there is any. This is crazy. It is just some huge grand building. Watch your step, Molly. I don't know what to make of it. We're going to try and see as many as we can. This is one that I definitely wanted to and didn't think we'd be able to. But just look at this. It is huge.
This is, as I said, this is elaborate and kind of scary. You got all the beautiful archways and then you just look in and it's just completely abandoned, and I can hear rustling. Like, it's kind of scaring me a little bit.
It's so creepy. You can almost hear a pin drop. I think Emiretti was actually originally built in 1962, and you can see how the elite would have come here. It is so grand. It is a monster with these huge, great big pillars, and then the grand opening hall which we're walking up to now. Wow, with the blue colours. This is crazy.
Oh my god, look at this. I don't even know what to say. You can't imagine.
Watch your step.
Yeah, it's just a humongous hole. It's even the wallpaper is still on. They didn't take the wallpaper. They obviously didn't like it that much.
You can just imagine high-ranking officials of the ex-Soviet Union from all the different states coming here. It's got these huge roofs. Look at these pillars, they're massive. You can just imagine how expensive each one of these would have been. And of course, the most famous of them all is Stalin. He used to visit here, and he even has his own bath in one of the other sanatoriums that we're going to hopefully get to visit. Just look at this.
I think this is maybe one of the
Balconies.
bedrooms, and this is the balcony. Classic red and orange tile, and you have a great terrace view. Like, it's
makes
really
no
weird.
sense.
Yeah, it's really weird to be standing here just thinking about what it was like.
So apparently Emiretti was actually bought by developers, I think 2017. Now I don't know whether they plan to demolish it or refurbish it into a new building, a new sanatorium. But just look at the size. It is huge, and I'm pleased to get out because this is the one that apparently normally has some security.
There's literally sanatoriums dotted around everywhere. Like, you're never going to be able to see all of them, but we're going to give it our best shot. Look at this one, absolutely huge, just abandoned. We think we have found one of the second, I think it's probably pretty big, isn't it? This one looks massive, but I think people actually live in this one, so I don't know how much of it we're actually going to be able to see. Look at that grand entrance though, always so grand.
The grandest of staircases to enter. I think this is Emiretti Sanatorium. You can only actually enter the left. On the right is where you'll find a lot of the people that have been displaced, the refugees. And it's just as eerie, just as grand, just as confusing. Again, you've got these huge, great marble pillars, and this one seems pretty gutted, I presume, with them living in the right-hand side of the building. The left, everything has just been removed. And you can see out into the garden where there used to be a swimming pool. Wow. It's so eerie. That was definitely not the best one, probably to enter. Most of the upper floors had collapsed, and I don't know how much longer the rest of the building is going to stay standing, but just as we're walking, exploring more of the park, you can see behind me, I think this probably was one of the sanatoriums that's been turned into like a block of flats. It's really sad that people are having to live in these conditions in 2021. I don't actually know the difference between a bathhouse and a sanatorium, but this is bathhouse number 8, which is also known as the UFO bathhouse.
It seems like bathhouses were smaller, the sanatoriums were like big
I think
spa
that was
complexes.
more like the hotel. This is where you come to get your treatments. Be careful here though, it's really overgrown.
This bathhouse is one of the most famous. This is bathhouse number 8, and the reason it's so famous is because, wow, oh my god, it's in the shape of a UFO, and surrounding the walls are outlines of deer. Very Soviet-esque, but oh my god, this is incredible.
There was a sign that said entrance prohibited, strongly life-threatening. So I don't want to stay in here too long, but you can see with the baths, and then the mineral water would all come up in the middle here, and we would just sit in these jacuzzi type things, and then I don't really know what was going on in the centre, but look at this. Strangely enough, next to bathhouse number 8 is bathhouse number 6, which is actually still in use today, which is pretty crazy. You can go and you can get some procedures done. A lot of people, even back in the Soviet Union, it was actually all paid for free for them if they got a certain doctor's note for a certain disease. So people would go with like diseases, illnesses, which sort of puts me off getting in some of the baths to get some of the treatments. And also bathhouse number 6, being the only bathhouse still going, was actually Starlings bathhouse, and his bath is still in here. We're gonna hope, we're gonna beg to see if the staff will let us in there and have a quick glimpse of Starling's bath.
Once again, another elaborate and very grand building.
It's still open.
All the pillars are like Roman pillars, aren't they? Hello.
Hello. Would it be possible? Hello. Would it be possible to see Starling's bath?
No, it's not possible to see. You can just try our procedures if you...
We can't take a photo?
We've seen people came before.
Only here, only on the...
Oh, that's a shame.
Is there no way we could quickly?
Just one of us take a photo?
Please.
Please.
Come so far.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
tallest Soviet mosaic. Wow. Look at this, I don't know what it was meant to represent. Starting a huge bath all to himself, and I can't believe they've kept this separate. They haven't redone this.
This is exactly as it was, isn't it?
All the mosaic on the floor. You would have just been sat there freely, nothing on, letting the procedures take place. Thank you. Wow, we were so lucky. I begged, and I begged some more. They said because of COVID, no one's been allowed in. So we could be the first people in like the last 2 years to be able to see Starlings Bath House.
I didn't expect it to be so warm in there.
It was really warm. The camera was steaming up. You can actually still get treatments in there, which I'm not too sure about because it helps fix people's diseases and everything like that. So I'd kind of rather not. I'm just so pleased that we got to see Starlings Bath. I mean, could you smell Starling's nakedness?
It's actually really strange walking in there because as you walked in, you would have seen that the room is like the waiting room, similarly to the one in Tbilisi where you have a waiting room before you actually go in and have your treatment. And then you go into his room and absolutely nothing about it has changed. I mean, I don't know if I would like decorations like that and decor and the bright red mosaics, but he must have.
It's so strange walking around here. You've got these palm trees. I don't know if they've been planted everywhere. I mean, Georgia and the Caucasus is very subtropical. You do find palm trees, coconut trees just hanging around, but I don't know if they were planted here for effect for the tourists back in the Soviet Union. But we are now walking to our last one. I feel like we have time for one more, and that is Hotel Sevan, Sanatorium Cevan, which is completely, oh my god, huge cow poo, which is apparently completely abandoned, which is good because it's kind of awkward going in the ones that people are still living in.
This is actually probably the craziest one. It was built between 47 and I believe the 70s, so it had like 30 years of construction, so there must be different styles and types of building.
I just love the entrances.
This is very grand. It's like a big circular round. You could just imagine like walking up to it feeling really fancy.
It took 30 years to build, but the entrances stairs are wonky. This is definitely the most derelict of the three. Oh my god. And it does.
This one, do not cross him,
that is creepy, and it's really dark. You can't see so much, but you can just imagine. This was the garden back in the day. Another building derelict at the back. And that police. Ooh, do not cross. It's creeping me out a little bit. It is so dark in here. This is the main entrance area, and it's been completely gutted. A lot of the roof is falling down. I don't really feel like I want to spend too much time in here. Yeah, I don't want to spend too long in there. It looks great from the outside, dangerous from the inside. Did you hear that?
What?
I can genuinely hear it. I can hear someone upstairs. There's something upstairs.
Don't, because I will get creeped out. These abandoned buildings, you're really scaring me. Don't do that.
I think we can probably check out this bit before our taxi gets here. Watch your step. I don't know how cow poo gets into the buildings.
I'm now just looking up at that window ledge, just thinking, like, imagine if someone just comes out and goes,
Starling.
Pooey! Oh my god.
This makes no sense. We are inside a building and there is cow poo everywhere.
And holes. Fantastic big holes that someone has clearly taken something out of, but I'd like to know what that is. What do you reckon that big hole is? Maybe glass?
I'm not sure. Let me have a look. Please do not fall. Please do not crumble on me. I don't know, I just don't like it.
Cows have the biggest poos ever as well.
These would have been the rooms in the hotel. You can see all the old wallpaper. Oh, I keep hearing things. I don't like this one. And it's just crumbling. There's not so much going on in here. It looks great from the outside, like I said. And now I really am leaving. We're getting our taxi, we're getting our bolt back to the city. There are actually two other sanatoriums, Medea, and can you remember the name of the other one? Mega Zeus. They look great. They probably are the two best looking sanatoriums, but they are inhabited, and when it's wet and rainy like this, everyone's inside and their dogs are outside because they have livestock now. They've brought like cows and pigs and everything to these buildings, which is crazy. And you're going to get chased by dogs, so probably better to go to them in the summer where you can meet the people outside and they let you in. Oh, branch hit my arm, panic over. But yeah, you can go to them, but probably better in the summer when the people are outside and they can see you rather than when everyone's inside, and you could just end up walking into someone's room. They look really cool. They've got these like huge great pillars, and I think it's Medea, I'm not sure. It's apparently like the best preserved of the lot. And we are back in the hotel. We are now safe from the sanatoriums. That was definitely really interesting. A different video to what we would normally do. Crazy. This like spa resort town was built up during the Soviet Union, and then when it collapsed in '91, these buildings have just been left to crumble apart from a couple. It's so interesting. Definitely go and do it. Only 20 minutes from Kutaisi, and yeah, wow, some of them were so elaborate. Imagine if they were still going today. That was what I was trying to do the whole time, was imagine them, how they were back during the Soviet Union, the elite come in there, and now most are abandoned, and some you've got people that have been displaced by war staying there. So it really does have quite a dark history. It was an abandoned town, and now I suppose it isn't anymore. But yeah, go and check it out. Go and check out as many as you can. Maybe in the summer it'd be better to check out some of the two cooler ones that I mentioned. I've forgotten their names, but apparently they are like some of the most elaborate, over-the-top ones. Of course it was during the Soviet Union. And to see Stalin's bath, it was pretty cool. But actually tomorrow we're sticking with the Soviet theme. We're sticking with the Soviet theme. We have one more day trip lined up from Kutaisi, so we'll see you tomorrow for all things Soviet.